Good morning, EagleNick Audit. I am EagleNick, and it is time that the United States Supreme Court, it is time for you to abolish qualified immunity. Now, government public servants, when they take on their jobs within our government, whether it be city, county, state, or federal, swear an oath to the United States Constitution, which grants every citizen of the United States of America inalienable rights that were given to us by our Creator. Our constitutional rights were not given to us by our government, but every single day in America, our constitutional rights are violated by crooked and corrupt government officials at every level within our government, city, county, state, and federal, all under the auspices of qualified immunity. They swore an oath to protect our rights, but they hide behind their badge. They hide behind their guns. They hide behind their blue lights. They hide behind their authority as their ranks within whichever department they serve, whether it be a police department or a law enforcement officer or a federal government official. Every single day, our rights are violated, all under the auspices of qualified immunity, which makes them to where they are above the law which they vowed and took an oath to protect, which is the law of the land. And the law of the land is the United States Constitution. It is time for the United States Supreme Court to stand up for the rights of the citizens of the United States of America, because the United States Supreme Court is the superior court of the land. All other courts are inferior. It is time for a change. Hello there, Lewis. How you doing? EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick. And it is time for the Supreme Court to protect the United States Constitution, to stop allowing government officials, public servants, to violate the law of the United States, which is the Constitution. The first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution is called the Bill of Rights, because they state the rights that we, as citizens of the United States of America, have obtained from our Creator and not from our government. Yes, we do. We also have constitutional concealed carry. It has been written into our Constitution in the state of Georgia. Now, EagleNick Audits. does not own nor carry a firearm. Now that is a good thing, because EagleNick audits has seen the corruption firsthand. EagleNick knows that if I was to own or carry a firearm, they would use the simple fact that I was exercising my Second Amendment rights to kill EagleNick, to stop EagleNick from exercising his rights under the Constitution. Now, EagleNick Audits does not just believe in the First Amendment or the Second Amendment or the Third or the Fourth or the Fifth. EagleNick Audits believes in all 27 amendments to the United States Constitution. The Fifth Amendment gives us the right to not say a word when we are stopped or questioned by any governmental official, whether they be city, county, state, or federal. But the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, one of the 5 tenets of the First Amendment, gives us the right to free speech. That means if we think they are a dirty, low-life piece of scum, then we have that right to tell them so. We do not have to hold back and not tell them what we think of the way they treat Americans. We have too many veterans that are homeless, living on the streets, living in tents, living anywhere they can find to live, because our government chooses not to honor the Constitution to serve and protect the veterans who served and protected the United States of America and the Constitution. Our government would rather spend our tax money sending it to foreign countries, or giving that money, tax money, to foreigners whom they allow to flood into our country through the southern border, or any way that they can get in. Now, I would like to say something, and I would like you all to realize that the people who seeks to flee their countries are not bad. They are not doing anything wrong, wanting to have a better life for themselves and their families. They live in a country where they have the lowest wages of anywhere in the world. Yet the United States of America is a great country to live, where we have so much abundance that there is plenty for all. But it is the way that our government lets them come in. The immigrants who come in legally, who try to go through the process to become American citizens, they are having the same problems that the American citizens are having, because our government is so overburdened with refugees, as they call them, that they cannot process all the people who are coming in legally. Now, we have companies like John Deere, who is moving their production to Mexico after they made $10,166 million in profit last year. Now, John Deere wants to move their production to Mexico to maximize profits, because the citizens of Mexico receive some of the lowest wages on this earth. And that allows the country of Mexico to keep their citizens in a form of slave labor where they do not earn a fair or decent living wage. And it only causes more of them to lose hope and faith in the country from which they reside and seek to flee to the United States, and not just the United States, but to other countries all over the world who has a better way of living. Our government has become so corrupt and bloated that they only think of the almighty dollar. They do not think of the rights of the American people. They do not think of the lives of the people who flee those countries to come to the United States. They do not think about the families of the people who flee those countries to come to the United States. The Democrats only wants to have our country flooded with illegal immigrants. EagleNick does not call them refugees because they did not immigrate to the country legally. The only reason the Democrats want all of them into the United States is because they spread them out over all the states of the United States so they can get them to be allowed to vote in all of our elections, not just federal, but city, county, and state, to where they can get Democrats in power to help control those cities, counties, and states, thereby creating such chaos and turmoil that eventually it will have the whole majority of the United States dependent on our government. Our government does not care about our rights. It is time for the Supreme Court to abolish qualified immunity so that our corrupt government officials cannot hide behind the auspices of qualified immunity to violate the rights of the American people. The United States Constitution clearly says that Congress shall not pass any laws that infringes upon the rights of the citizens of the United States granted under the United States Constitution, and neither shall the states. Yet we have our federal government, our state governments, our city governments, and our county governments every single day passing and enforcing laws that are unjust and illegal under the United States Constitution. They are un-American. They are inhumane. They are only created to gain control. It is time for the United States Supreme Court to define the meaning of birthright citizenship. Now, birthright citizenship means that if a child is born in the United States, that one of its two parents, which is it has to be a man and a woman, one of the two has to be an American citizen. Two illegal immigrants living in the United States who has a baby in the United States, per the United States Constitution, does not make that child a citizen of the United States. You can put a chicken egg in a duck's nest, and when that egg hatches, it will still be a chicken. It will not be a duck. No matter how long that mother duck raises and takes care of that little chick, it will always be a chicken. It was born a chicken. It will grow up a chicken, and it will die as a chicken. I'll see you back on here, Mahuba Laba Laba Laba. Free Palestine. No, free our basic human rights. All people have a right to live. The Palestinians hate Israel. The Palestinians hate the United States of America. The Palestinians hate capitalism. EagleNick loves all equally. Love thy neighbor as thyself. EagleNick believes that all should be treated fairly, justly, and humanely. It is time for a change, and not the change that President, or former president, I should say, Barack Hussein Obama said that the country would receive if he was elected president. Now, we all saw the change that the United States of America received under the 8 years, 2 terms of former President Barack Hussein Obama, because that is all Americans had left in their pockets after they worked a full week, sometimes with many hours of overtime. After the taxes was all said and done, they did not have very many of the almighty American dollars. All they had was a little bit of change rattling around in their pockets. It is time for a change of attitude, a change in the way the citizens of the United States are treated. Today is July the 4th, the United States Independence Day, where we celebrate our independence from a foreign country. But at the same time, we are held in bondage and slavery and involuntary servitude to our own government, city, county, state, federal, when they are supposed to be and took an oath to defend the Constitution, which grants us our rights, our privileges. It is time to make America great again. Donald John Trump 2024. Now, the Democrats hate to hear the term make America great again. They call us MAGA Republicans. And they say that word like it is shameful, that we want to make America great, to make America great to live in, to raise a family, to have a job, and just to be able to survive. The Democrats want us all to be in servitude and in bondage to our government, to have to depend on our government for our food and all of our sustenance. Our government did not create the states. You can hear the sirens. Our government did not create our rivers, our streams, our lakes, and our oceans. The Creator who created mankind created all things and gave it all to us, to mankind. Yet our government places rules and regulations and restrictions on how we can use all of these things. They make us buy fishing licenses to fish, a hunting license to hunt, to provide food. They make you have a driver's license to be able to travel and drive a car. It is all about control, but it is time. The government seeks to control the American citizens, but it is time that we, the people of the United States of America, take back control of our government. Take back control of our lives. Take back control of our country. If you do not stand up, we will all fall. United we stand, but divided we fall. I love Palestine too there, brother. Like I said, EagleNick does not have hate in his heart. I do not hate any of the corrupt government officials that I have run into who had me illegally arrested for a Class B misdemeanor, criminal trespass, damage of $500 or less, for exercising my First Amendment rights at the United States Post Office located in downtown Dalton, Georgia. EagleNick does not hate Postmaster Constance Long, even though she is still stealing my mail, holding up my Cash App card. I received a call from Postmaster Constance Long after I had talked to my United States Senator John Ossoff's office, whom I had authorized through a consent form to investigate the post office in downtown Dalton, Georgia, namely the Postmaster Constance Long. But what kind of effect did it have? What did it help change? What good did it do? Not a single dadgone thing, because they gave Postmaster Constance Long my personal private cell phone number, whereby Postmaster Long could call EagleNick. Postmaster Long assured EagleNick that they would never hold up my mail, that they would never do that. But EagleNick does not believe in coincidence. It is all retaliatory tactics because of me exercising my constitutional rights. EagleNick does not even feel that he was actually arrested for trespassing at the post office. EagleNick knows in his heart that he was arrested as a retaliatory tactic for live streaming at the Dalton Police Service Center just a little over or under 30 minutes before I recorded the video at the United States Post Office that I was said to be being arrested for criminal trespass. Now, EagleNick Audits does not believe in happenstance. Lieutenant M. Locke with the Dalton Police Department said that he has seen all of EagleNick's videos. He stated at least 2 times while it was being recorded that he was deputized. And after he had cut off my phone, when he came up to the police car where I had been placed into the back, he stated several more times, you know how you said in your videos that the Dalton Police Department officers are not deputized? Well, I'm deputized. That is a clear sign. You hear the sirens? Here they come again. That is a clear sign of a retaliatory tactic, because EagleNick audits had never said a word about the Dalton Police Department's officers not being deputized, except in the 2 separate videos where I recorded corrupt Dalton City police officers, rogue police officers, violating citizens' rights in front of my house and in front of my property on the corner, when they are a city and this road is in the county. They had no right or no authority to even be here. They had no warrant when they arrested me. They never showed me a warrant at the jail or when I got out of jail. They tried their best to keep EagleNick in jail for as long as they could. If it had not been for my super amigo, my Hispanic friend, who used the money on his account, his inmate account, first to contact a bondsman and let me talk to them. But it did no good, for when I told that bondsman my name, they said they were not in the office to call Huckabee bonding, and hung up abruptly. Now that was my one free phone call. When I called Huckabee bonding, I had to use my inmate stuff, and Huckabee bonding would never accept my call because it was a collect call. Now, they never have a problem accepting a collect call for someone to make bond, only because it was EagleNick audits. EagleNick audits had a $50 cash bond, yet the state objected and opposed a $50 OR on recognizance bond. EagleNick is a property owner. Even though I ride a bicycle, yet they would not allow me to do a $50 OR bond. Now, just about 3 weeks ago, or just a little over, I talked to a homeless gentleman at the Providence Ministries in Dalton, Georgia, who had informed me that he had been arrested the day before for criminal trespass, damage of $500 or less, plus another charge, which brought his total bond to a little over $1,100. When he went to first appearance, they allowed the homeless gentleman to post an OR bond, an on recognizance bond, which clearly shows that my arrest and my lack of being able to obtain a $50 OR bond, that every single bit of it was retaliatory. The total charge to get me out on bond was $50 for the bond and $20 to the sheriff's department. Now, EagleNick audits had $71 on his Cash App card, plus some currency in his billfold downstairs. The Whitfield County Sheriff's Department would never allow or take EagleNick audits downstairs so that he could use his own money to post his bond to effect his release. Well, Brett, I expected to be treated like an American citizen, to have my rights under the United States Constitution protected and to not have them violated, all under the auspices of qualified immunity. It is because of qualified immunity that they violate people's rights, and some people they just flat out kill. People who are unarmed, who people might be just running from them. No weapons and no harm could come to those officers, yet they choose to shoot them in the back to terminate their life because they know they have qualified immunity, wherefore they cannot be held liable. They took an oath to uphold the law, which is the Constitution of every American citizen, of we the people, yet they hide behind qualified immunity, behind their badge, behind their gun, behind their blue lights, and they violate our rights and take away lives of harmless people because they know they can get away with it. It is time that we, the American people, hold our government accountable. They work for us. We do not work for them. If you do not help EagleNick and stand up for your rights, we will soon lose them all. United we stand, but divided we fall. EagleNick audits did not set up memberships just for the fact that there are some people who cannot even afford a 99-cent a month membership. Now, EagleNick Audits is doing what I do for all, not just a few, not just the ones who are lucky and blessed enough to have money to freely do what they want, to buy what they want, to have the very best foods, to go to the finest restaurants, to travel anywhere on vacations. Have you seen homeless people and turned your back on them, turned your nose up to them, talked bad about them and said, oh, if I give them money, they would just buy drugs or beer? They are humans. They are people too. We all deserve to live and not have our rights taken away. I pray that you all have a blessed and a very safe 4th of July Independence Day. Make sure that you stand up for your rights, or you will lose them. This is EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick, and I'm out.